and Don Hutchison to the darkened city of Miami for the second half of this International Champions Cup clash between two of the biggest names in world football. United controlling the second half until Karim Benzema struck very late on to give Real hope that they can get back into it. They enjoyed more of the possession, but United, as you can see, had far more firepower up front. Nothing for David De Gea to do in the first half. Not too much either for Quique Garcia, but United's goals were crisply taken by Sanchez and Herrera before Benzema struck to set it up. Just a reminder that these matches in this competition go to penalties if scores are level after 90 minutes. Benzema's goal has made that perhaps a larger possibility than the crowd might have expected, certainly that those Manchester United fans would have hoped. Changes at half-time, do you think, Don?
Maybe. I've seen 2 or 3 players from Real Madrid warming up. I think Jose might just resist for 10 or 15 minutes. Borja Mayoral might be coming on. I wonder if that's for Karim Benzema, who's got a goal and 45 minutes under his belt.
Well, we should find out in just a moment. The referees are back out, led by Alan Chapman. Fairly quiet game, the ref, which is always a positive note. Nothing much for him to get involved in. It's the sort of expression that Jose Mourinho has been wearing for the last 10 days or so. He must have been disappointed with the fact that his defence, who'd played so well, switched off at the final time of asking in the first half and conceded that late goal. Manchester United yet to actually win a game in this year's International Champions Cup. Victory by virtue of penalties against AC Milan. And a big defeat by Liverpool.
That result against Liverpool would have stung Jose. The bigger picture was Liverpool played a really strong 11 and Jose obviously didn't. He played a lot of youngsters, so not surprising that Liverpool won by a comfortable margin, but it was a bigger scoreline that Jose wouldn't have wanted.
It's always painful to lose to Liverpool if you're a Manchester United fan. It's like a Real fan losing to Barca or Atletico. See the Dolphins logo on the seats there. That's the normal inhabitants of this stadium, gridiron side. Spaniards as well as Americans and English in the crowd.
It's a great event this for the fans, isn't it?
Brilliant, yeah.
If you say Real Madrid and all the top sides like Manchester United, Liverpool, Dortmund and all the others, if you're a fan, it's certainly paid to watch these sides. I think we've been thoroughly entertained and the quality of football has been excellent.
It has been very, very good. Real Madrid will be hoping they can improve in the second half, because for the majority of it they weren't great, it has to be said. But when you've got the likes of Benzema on the field, you've always got a goal around the corner. And that's how it transpired as United come out for the second period.
Nice to see Ander Herrera there just passing on some pearls of wisdom to young Fred. He's been around the block, Ander Herrera, a player that I think Jose loves to rely on because he knows exactly what he's going to get every single game. Fred's going to be a superstar for the future. It'll be interesting to see how many games he plays this season.
Yeah.
Alexis Sanchez is going to have a big season. I'm pretty convinced of that.
And Herrera's in his 8th season at Manchester United now.
How long he's been there? 8 years.
Yeah. Alexis Sanchez just contemplating his second, but his pre-season's been excellent. Still waiting for Real Madrid to emerge from the tunnel for the second half. Very good natured crowd here.
Great atmosphere as
Yeah,
well.
it is. Excellent. Two sets of fans mixing amicably. Great respect, of course, between these two great sides in the history of European football. Well, Llorente has the captain's armband, which suggests that Benzema has departed. We've got a glimpse there of Borja Mayoral, 20-year-old local boy from Madrid who had a loan spell at Wolfsburg last season. Looks as if he's going to come on. Couldn't spot any immediate substitutions by Manchester United. Eric Bailly picked up a knock in the first half, but seems to be okay. Two managers have an embrace before the second half hostilities begin. Jose, of course, a former Real Madrid boss. He won the league title and the Copa del Rey during his spell between 2010 and 2013. Darmian, who set up the first goal for Alexis Sanchez. So referee just preparing to blow his whistle to get us underway for the second half. Real Madrid have got Martin Odegaard, who is a promising young Norwegian international, on for the second half, as well as ᴍᴜ who is a defender and replacing Theo Hernandez at left fullback. Up to 11 substitutions permitted in these International Champions Cup matches, which obviously allows the managers the opportunity to look at as many players as possible, but sometimes disrupts the flow of things. Underway anyway for the second half, with Real Madrid in their traditional strip, attacking the goal to our left. And here is young Odegaard finding Llorente. Odegaard has come on for Benzema. Bale has also gone off. No Benzema, no Bale for Real Madrid. Clearance there by Darmian under very little pressure, has conceded a corner as Dani Ceballos picks himself up after a knock, which was not really created by any pressure at all from a Manchester United player. He just went down holding his ankle. He's up again now. Here's the corner then. Only half cleared by United. Follow-up shot is rattled in by Vinícius. Good start to the half by Real. Here's Vinícius again. He was excellent in the first half. Path to The penalty area is blocked by Luke Shaw. Odegaard is fouled rather unceremoniously there by Pereira.
Yeah, Vinicius in the first half was really bright. It's nice to see Odegaard on the pitch tonight as well. Another bright young player. Terrific technique, all left-sided. Got wonderful vision. Just got to try and break through into this Real Madrid first team. Difficult ask. He's got the talent.
Well, they've also changed their goalkeeper at half-time. ɪırᴛᴇrɪᴅ, who's at 19 already, a Ukrainian full international, is on for Quique Casillas. He hasn't seen the ball in his half yet because Real have been pretty dominant in the opening 3 minutes of the second period. United will look to try and do something about that. Here's McTominay playing in a slightly unfamiliar role as a auxiliary centre-half, normally a defensive midfield player. De Gea has scooped the ball straight out of play to invite more pressure on those defenders in front of him. Lopetegui, I'll get it right in a moment, has shuffled his pack considerably. Jose Mourinho still has a few cards up his sleeve. It's neatly done by Pereira.
Yeah, I would have thought Jose might just leave it another 15-20 minutes, try and get to an hour mark. And he might just make one or two changes.
Fred with the ball down the line. It took a deflection on its way through. Mourinho shouting encouragement to his United players. 95% of the first half with a better team. Here's Herrera. It's not going anywhere in particular, and Shaw has already given up the chase there.
Difficult to know what you do if you're Jose in this situation where you're winning 2-1. Real Madrid have made lots of changes, got youngsters on the pitch. Do you try and leave a lot of first-team players on the pitch to try and rack up a 3 or 4 easy-ish win and gain lots of confidence from it? Or do you make 1 or 2 changes yourself and give 1 or 2 youngsters an opportunity?
Here come Real, who've been the better side early doors second half. Here's Vinicius, who's been particularly impressive. Good tackle on the edge of the box by Ander Herrera, though, but United have lost it. And the shot is fired wide. They've been under pressure very much so in the second half, United. Slightly concerned looks from some of those supporters.
Had a strange World Cup, didn't he, David De Gea? Not at his best.
Actually wouldn't have counted that shot when it came in, because it was a foul that led to it. Boya Mayoral, one of the substitutes, hit it, but there already had been an infringement. Here's ᴍᴜ Mensah, another one who's having to play in a slightly different position in this second half, and having generally played as a fullback for most of his career, is filling in at centre half. Tackle by Herrera is a good one. Just to confirm, Borja Mayoral, Martin Odegaard, Sergio Reguilón at left back, and the goalkeeper ɪırᴛᴇrɪᴅ are on for Real in the second half. Fernandes, Bale, Benzema and Casillas have been taken off. Here's Valverde. This is Reguilón, the left fullback, who has been at Real Madrid since he was 8 years old. Captain of their B team. That's a lovely ball. And here's Odriozola at pace, hangs the cross up, but there's no one at the back post, and Darmian scoops it away.
That's been a feature of the young man's game. Odriozola at right back, he's trying to get forward as much as he can. In the first half, he got to the byline, put 1 or 2 crosses in, showed good pace there. Mayoral just couldn't catch the play up.
He had an excellent season with Real Sociedad, made 42 appearances for them in the last campaign, and of course Won his first cap for Spain as well. Here he is again. Much more purpose and much more cut and thrust about Real, it seems, in the second half. Llorente, who's been given the armband, plays it forward. The man with such illustrious ancestors who've helped shape Real's history. He'll be looking to shape its future. Here's Vinícius, another who'll be looking to do that. It looks very promising indeed, although that's not the best pass he's made all night.
I think you can see the team talk at half-time from Lopetegui. I think he's got his players playing at a faster pace. The tempo's a lot better. The passing's a lot crisper.
It's not just me who's having trouble pronouncing it. I don't know why. Lopetegui, it's just a difficult one. Into the box it comes from Real. And the shot by Mayoral is blocked. United have started the second half completely on the back foot. We haven't even seen a shot of Andriy Lunin yet, the Ukrainian substitute goalkeeper on your screens. There's so much of the
ball so far. Manchester United, Real Madrid have started really well in the second half.
There's Vallejo. Keeping possession, but with more pace, aren't they, at the moment than in the first half? Here's Odegaard, the Norwegian who had a loan spell at Heerenveen in the Netherlands last season. This is Odriozola, now Odegaard again.
Covered a lot of his games last season at Heerenveen. Martin Odegaard, and he played really, really well. He plays off that right-hand side, cutting in on his strong left foot. He can find a pass. He's got wonderful vision.
Ceballos. Odegaard again, great tackle by Herrera though. They just cannot get the ball clear, United. Ceballos again.
Well, they're better Real Madrid now out of possession, but they're trying to win the ball back high up the pitch.
Good strike, but when it left his boot, it looked more promising than it ended up being. But, maybe Sanchez, the centre half, thought it was worth a go.
First half out of possession, Real Madrid were just a little bit passive. They were allowing Manchester United players just to knock the ball about. In the second half, they're trying to win the ball back as quick as they can. And they look a better side for it.
De Gea will have his sights on actually trying to get the ball into Real's half for pretty much the first time in this second half. It's quickly out of it again. Bailly forward though. See nothing of Sanchez or Mata in the second half yet. There's a clip there and a late tackle which will be penalised by the referee. He's kept a fairly firm grip on things without interfering too much, which is all you can ask. Here's Llorente finding Reguilón. Scored 8 goals in 44 appearances for the juniors last season, Reguilón, and given a chance here at left fullback for Theo Hernandez. This is Martin Odegaard, who, would you believe, made his Norwegian international senior debut at the age of 15. Became the youngest player in their history. He then played in a European Championship qualifier and became the youngest player of any nation to appear in that qualifying competition. Extraordinary start to life, really, when you consider a 15-year-old player as an international footballer.
I spoke to Jan Fjortoft, an old teammate of mine, a few years ago about him. He absolutely loves him. He said he's going to go right to the very top.
Here's Vinícius going right to the heart of the United defence, it seems. And beautiful cutback. Oh, and it's put over the bar. Well, that was the chance that Odegaard wanted to come his way, and he couldn't quite take it. It's a lovely move. Vinícius initiated it.
Oh, he should score. He'd love that one back again. It's a good ball out on the left-hand side, just drilled back into Odegaard's feet. Anywhere low, he scores. David De Gea is absolutely fuming at the marking.
One criticism of him perhaps is his goal-scoring figures in the Eredivisie. Last season, only 2 in 25. Not enough, perhaps, for a player who's a a very attacking midfielder.
Yeah, certainly when you're playing in that position, and he plays in that 3 in behind the central striker, you should be looking for in and around double figures.
Here's De Gea clearing, but clearing poorly again. It's not the first time he's put it straight out of play.
Can't get a foothold in the game in the second half, Manchester United, unlike the first half.
First half they were dominant. Second half they're being dominated at the moment. Forward by Vallejo. Bailly decides to take the ball by the horns. Now Sanchez. Great strength and great balance from the Chilean. Fred. Shaw. This is better from United. And Herrera. Luke Shaw again. Looks a bit long, but it might be rescued far side by Darmian. Quickly snuffed out though by Sanchez.
Skill.
And again Vinícius. Well, he was brought down in the end, but he's treated us to some really telling glimpses of just how talented he is.
Very early on, but he reminds me of a young Ronaldo when he was at Manchester United, the trickery that he's got. He learned, you know, he just gets clipped in the face there from Darmian, but he learned when he gets higher up the pitch to make better decisions. I think where Ronaldo and Nani were at the same time in Manchester United, Ronaldo learned the final product and the end product. Nani just couldn't quite get it right.
He's not going to thank you as a Real Madrid player, aged 18, to be compared already to Ronaldo. It's a hard act to follow.
I'm not comparing him, I'm just saying you can see he's got the trickery, you can see he's got the confidence. Yeah. Ronaldo had all of that coming from Sporting to Manchester United, just didn't have the end product. Really sharp learnt it under Fergie.
Well, maybe we can compare them when he's got 450 goals for Real Madrid.
When you've got more goals than games.
Yeah. Here he is on the ball though. He's been impressive tonight, he really has. It's been one of the features of this International Champions Cup is the number of quality young players we've seen, and it strikes me that you know, Vinícius is only 18, but all of the youngsters are really confident at a young age with the ball at their feet. The way they're trained now, they just seem unfazed by you know, big stadiums, big crowds, big opponents. It's great to see.
A lot more confident. We worked on Bayern Munich, Man City the other day, and Man City had 4 or 5 young players. Nemecha played really well. Brahim Diaz, Eric Garcia, Luke Bolton. As you said, fearless.
Phil Foden as well. Here's Fred for Manchester United, making his first start for the club since joining from Shakhtar. He came on as a sub in the disappointing game against Liverpool. Here's Fosu Mensah. Just a bit sloppy there on the far side by Darmian. We're going to get some substitutes now with the hour mark having been passed. Looks like Real Madrid are going to bring on Raúl de Tomás. He's a 23-year-old attacker. Came from Real Madrid's youth team initially. He's had spells at Valladolid and Rayo Vallecano. Scored 24 goals for them last season in 32 appearances, so he knows where the net is. Vinícius has gone off. Also on is Sergio Lopez and Oscar Garcia. Oscar Garcia is a 19-year-old attacking midfielder, and Sergio Lopez is a right fullback. Still no movement from the bench from Manchester United. Real now have 7 substitutes on the pitch. Here's one of them, Sergio Lopez, born in Germany actually. Very quick right-sided defender. Here's Llorente. Can they maintain the pressure that they've had as they seek parity with these substitutions that they've made?
Marcus Llorente is having an impact in the second half. Number 18, central midfield. This man here, this young boy here, keeping hold of the ball. He's picking some clever passes.
Here's Odegaard.
Just a deep line midfield player, always an option.
Much the better team. All down the line, it should be shepherded out by Darmian, but it's brilliantly kept in. Darmian tries to recover. Still Real come forward, and the shot in the end is quite a long way wide. And he's just come on. Oscar almost joined Manchester City last summer. Look out for him with set pieces. It was down to some splendid play down that left-hand side, which set it all up by the overlapping fullback ᴍᴜᴜrɪᴅ.
I just wonder if Jose will make one or two changes, because for the first time in the game I'm just looking at the Manchester United players, and one or two just look a little bit drained, look a little bit tired.
Odegaard trying to get it through. Pereira tidies up and finds Fred. It's a nice little flick by him to Sanchez, who's had to come very, very deep with the play all happening behind him at the moment. United just need someone to put their foot on the ball and try and slow down the pace of Real Madrid's attacks at the moment. We're going to get another drinks break.
And that's where their experience should tell. Just keep hold of the ball, keep possession for a few minutes, take the sting out of the game.
Drinks break there was very brief.
Lopetegui will be happy. I think his young players, especially in the second half, are performing well.
Here's McTominay for Manchester United, who at last are enjoying a small spell of possession. Shaw.
It's better. Just little 5-yard passes, keeping hold of the ball.
Here's Fred. Yes, the other debutant Brazilian has gone off for Real Madrid after a sparkling hour of showcasing his potential. Here's Fred still on. Mata giving it away though. Forward by Valverde. This is Borja Mayoral. By Luke Shaw, who's heading in towards Real Madrid territory. Finds Sanchez. Sanchez is tackled. Llorente wins it.
How good's he been?
As well, very good. Yep, looks very
so
composed.
Relaxed, yeah, so relaxed on the ball.
Good tackle by ᴍᴜ for United, but still they come. This is Reguilón. Opposite side now, Sergio Lopez.
Difficult ask trying to replace, or displace should I say, Casemiro at the Real Madrid side, but
yes.
Marcos Llorente looks as though he's played this position, this holding midfield position, for a number of years. Only 23, but he keeps hold of the ball really well. He has good positional sense as well. Always behind the ball. You see him in the centre circle, he's always an option.
Well, they've had all the possession, but they need a goal to get themselves back in it. That's not the pass with which to find it. It'll ease the pressure a little for Manchester United. Yet to win, of course, on this American tour. Unless, of course, you count the penalty shootout win over Milan. Here's Fred again, finding Sanchez. And United, having soaked up pressure, create some themselves. They've got a free kick.
Working hard enough, Alexis Sanchez. Just needs a little bit more quality around him. Almost like he's trying to do everything on his own at the moment.
We'll get some substitutions now from Jose Mourinho at the midway point in the second half, I think. Fred has come off, and on comes Axel Tuanzebe. It's a defensive change for Jose Mourinho. Zebe primarily a defender, Fred a midfielder. What do you make of Fred from what you saw?
Well, I've seen him a lot. He hasn't played particularly great tonight. I think he's had some very neat touches. You can see he's a confidence player, still getting used to his teammates, still recovering from his injury. He picked up very early on when he signed for Manchester United, but I know he's a player. Just to take a little bit of time.
That's brilliant by Llorente. And De Gea had to be very sharp there to just fly hack the ball away from De Thomas. There's a danger. You mentioned very good goal scoring record in the Segunda División last season. Llorente finding Lopez. Odegaard. Lopez again. Just a finish lacking really for Real, who've been brilliant in the second half in all but that particular end product. Here's McTominay battling hard for United, who... That's lovely by Pereira, but they're still penned in as the substitute Tuanzebe gets it back to De Gea. Flick on was a good one by Sanchez. Mata claims he was fouled. Referee disagrees.
It looks as a little nudge in the back there on Juan Mata.
There's Valverde. Odegaard. Llorente, who's pulling the strings in midfield at the moment. Lopez. Here he is again, Llorente.
Just looks very comfortable on the ball. I love the way he takes it on the back foot, allows the ball to come across his body.
So waiting for reinforcements. Herrera finds Shaw. This is Sanchez. It's lovely by him, and Shaw has continued his run here. A very good cross, and in truth, not many red shirts for him to aim at from that wide position.
I think they look a little bit tired. I'm looking around, I'm looking at Juan Mata, Alexis Sanchez. Doesn't seem any sharpness in their legs at the moment. They're just getting behind the ball, just getting back in their slots.
That's another good ball forward. He's blown his whistle. De Thomas penalised. Manchester United move on from this into another friendly, and a prestige one at that, at the Allianz Arena against Bayern Munich. And we've already seen in this International Champions Cup, beaten last time out by Manchester United's rival City. Don mentioned terrific display by City's youngsters, coming back from 2-0 down against a team who included Frank Ribéry and Arjen Robben. Here's Pereira. Shaw. Just pinched off him by Odegaard, who did well coming back. Again, it's Llorente trying to make things happen. Here's Sanchez, though, for United. Mata can't quite offload it.
They're well schooled, aren't they, some of these young players?
Yeah.
They can half-handle the ball. You can see they're just not thrown together. The combination play is really good. They know their positions as well at a very early age.
Oscar with the crossfield ball. Lopez the recipient. Socks rolled halfway down. Llorente.
I'm trying to think when I was at Liverpool at 19, 20,
Odegaard,
21.
sorry, wants to shoot here. And he's loose in the box just for a second before Bailly scooped it away. Sorry, Don.
That's fine. I was just saying, when you're 19, 20, 21, you think you know everything about the game. You don't. You get your experience once you're churning out 30 games a season. But these youngsters have been absolutely fearless in this competition. They all look as though they can handle the ball. Been some brilliant performers.
Yeah, from the famous Castilla setup at Real Madrid. Hot hotbed of talent for many years. Kick goes by Lopez to goalkeeper from Ukraine, who we've barely had a sight of, Andriy Lunin. He's played for Dnipro and Zoria Luhansk. He's made 41 appearances in the Ukrainian top division and 2 appearances for the Ukrainian national team. Still only 19, joined Real Madrid in June. Has not been involved at all in the second half.
Well, United can't really get over the halfway line at the moment.
Lopez with the cross. Header away is by Tuanzebe. Here's Llorente, who's been the main man certainly in the second half. That's clever by Odegaard. Oh, now is that a foul by Luke Shaw, and if so, where? Just outside. You just see a divot there by the referee's left foot. Good decision by him. And a potential goal-scoring opportunity for Real Madrid.
Yeah, it's
Valverde brought down.
It's almost like you're watching a Manchester United in a Premier League game when they're hanging on. You know, because they're 2-1 up. They're showing no real signs or quality, especially in the second half, of trying to go and get the third. So they're staying in the positions, staying in their slots. But they're playing up against some very young players. You would have thought once they went 2-0 up, they would have been absolutely cruising in this game.
Odegaard's going to take the free kick. 19-year-old Norwegian. 3-man wall for him to try and negotiate. Well, will be disappointed if they don't get something out of this game. Odegaard shoots. De Gea punches clear fairly comfortably, and Herrera completes the clearance. And here's Odegaard again. That's nice. Here's Lopez. Can't find a way through. Just didn't sit up properly for Oscar. And that's a decent piece of enterprise from Real Madrid.
Yeah, not an easy one to hit that from Oscar. A good strike from Odegaard. They keep the ball alive. I fancied he'd take this on. Easy, really, for David De Gea.
Well, it's been one-way traffic in the second half as we have a break for drinks, but De Gea, it's only real save he's had to make that one, and it was a relatively comfortable one. We're into the last 15 minutes almost, and the score remains unchanged despite all that Real Madrid pressure in the second half from Julen Lopetegui's men.
Bringing some big names on. Seen Toni Kroos there. Isco, Asensio.
Let's have a look at how the goals went in that first half then. Manchester United in front, and a Herrera's cross. Excellent finish by Alexis Sanchez.
Very good strike. Good work from Darmian. Good finish that from Sanchez. And this is Juan Mata. Alexis Sanchez far post, and Herrera with a strike.
United in total control at this point. Lovely header by Sanchez. Good connection too by Herrera. 2-0 up after 27 minutes and not under any great threat. But then, in first half stoppage time, Karim Benzema on the end of a cross by Theo Hernandez, touching a goal.
Changed the game because, as you said, on 27 minutes, Man United were 2-0 up, looking as though they're going to win the game by 3 or 4 because it was that comfortable. That goal just before half time, it's got Real Madrid back in the game.
We're going to have some more Real Madrid substitutes now. Isco is coming on. Marco Asensio is coming on. And Toni Kroos, as you mentioned, Don, saw them all warming up, and they are all on. All having played in the World Cup for their respective countries. Toni Kroos, of course, scoring that sensational goal with a free kick late on against Sweden for Germany, but not enough to avoid the ignominy of the Germans going out at the group stage. Isco and Marco Asensio both part of the Spanish setup who were beaten by hosts Germany. host Russia, I should say. Isco scored in the group game against Morocco. Confirmation there of the substitutes.
Probably the biggest, one of the performers at the World Cup, in my opinion, Germany.
Yeah.
I thought Toni Kroos in the central midfield was almost on his own at times.
McTominay is being helped off the pitch. And, he's been substituted by Dimitri Mitchell, who's a 21-year-old fullback. Comes from the Fletcher Moss Rangers club in Manchester, which produced Marcus Rashford, who's not in America but has returned to training back home. Here's Lopez for Real Madrid. Poor ball, and Pereira makes a mess of trying to negotiate Isco, and it's a free kick to Real. Isco was one of the few Spanish successes in Russia, really. We mentioned that Germany underperformed. Spain weren't too far behind, were they? Scrambling late group stage points. Here's a shot on the turn by De Thomas.
Yeah, good move there. Just dropped the shoulder, went to the far post. Good defending. Hanging on slightly here, Manchester United.
Yeah, it's a corner kick for De Gea and co to negotiate. Isco takes it. Ever is behind and wide. And it's De Thomas who got up. Looks the sort of player who has got a goal in him somewhere.
Try and see the next 2 or 3 minutes out if they can. Try and get to in and around 83, 84, 5 minutes. And then you know you're nearly there if you're a Manchester United player. Try and get to 85 minutes with 5 minutes left and hang on. Try and keep hold of the ball. Real Madrid now got most of their big guns on the pitch.
Here's Isco. Yes, United are going to be asked some even more searching questions you fancy, with the likes of Isco, Marco Asensio and Toni Kroos in action now. Here's Oscar. And now Isco moving forward.
You see the way he went past Juan Mata like he wasn't there. I think Juan Mata spent.
And Herrera, another compatriot of Isco's, gets the ball clear. Here's Alexis Sanchez. Tackling back though was expertly done by Reguilon. Here's Asensio. Overlap down the right from Lopez, ignored by Asensio. This is Kroos. Asensio again. Isco. Cleverly into the box. Whipped across the face of goal by De Thomas. No one there at the back stick, but the danger is not clear yet for Manchester United. It's another useful cross. Oh, and how on earth did that not go in? Raul De Thomas arriving at the near post, off his foot and up and over the bar.
He's been on the pitch minutes, Thomas, and he's had 2 or 3 really good opportunities. He should score, really. You see David De Gea is absolutely fuming at the lack of marking. So again, it's at that near post. Actually, it might be a good save from De Gea. Might just come off that right boot.
It was a massively presentable opportunity for the 23-year-old Thomas, whose mother was from Dominican Republic, but he's a Spain former under-19 international. Juan Mata, as you mentioned, didn't look as if he had anywhere near as much energy in the second half as he did in the first, has gone off. James Garner, one of United's youngsters, comes into the fray. Merseyside actually, but defensive midfield player who models himself on Michael Carrick, who's now on the coaching staff of Manchester United, of course. Here's Nacho, who scored memorably in that extraordinary game against Portugal in the World Cup, 3-3 with a Ronaldo hat-trick. Ronaldo no longer his teammate now, though, of course.
Yeah, two best goals in the tournament for me, Nacho or Pavard, take your pick. Both similar strikes, yeah. Beautiful technique.
Pavard's, I think, actually got the vote, didn't it, officially, as the pick of the bunch, and it was an extraordinary strike by the French fullback. Here's Asensio, good looking cross towards Thomas, decent header away though by Axel Tuanzebe.
Thomas is making some very good moves. He's going to the near post and just pulling away to the far post. Movement's very good.
6.5 minutes for Real Madrid to force a penalty shootout, or maybe even a win. That one's cleared, but Kroos has it. You could just feel the crowd sensing something might be on with the ball at his feet. Here's Isco instead. Decent block by the youngster Mitchell, who's just come on.
Got wonderful balance, Isco, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Very
centre
elegant.
of gravity. This is Kroos.
Very elegant player when the ball's at his feet.
Still all Real in the second half, but without a goal. Dmitry Mitchell heads clear. Here's Isco. There's an overlap from Lopez. Low ball in. And it's well defended by Manchester United.
Just getting lots of bodies now, Manchester United behind the ball. 6 minutes left on the clock.
64,000 inside the Hard Rock Stadium. Here's Kroos for Real. Clever ball, kept in but blocked at the first by ᴍᴜ. It really is hanging on that United are at the moment. Created absolutely nothing at all in the second half. I mean, the goalkeeper Lunin, I can only recall having one touch, which was a clearance with his feet.
Yeah, well, they've never been in Real Madrid's half, really, Manchester United.
Here's Isco. Nice touch, good tackle though again by ᴍᴜ. Alexis Sanchez is an outlet for Manchester United and will always keep running. Can't reach that one.
Good play though from Alexis Sanchez, yes. Even though he didn't win the ball, he's won Manchester United to throw in higher up the pitch, which will give the midfield players himself and that back four a little bit of a rest.
Well, for all the moaning and groaning that Mourinho's been doing this week, I think he'll be content that Alexis Sanchez is looking like somebody who is going to unleash himself on the Premier League, which starts for Manchester United's first game of the season on a Friday night against Leicester City on August the 10th. No doubt Mourinho probably complain about the scheduling of that one as well.
And the interesting thing, where's Alexis Sanchez going to play? He'll probably play off the left-hand side. He's obviously not going to play through the middle. Lukaku will have that position sewn up.
Pereira is annoyed with the referee for awarding a free kick there for a foul on Sergio Asensio, which has been taken very quickly, that free kick. Here's Lopez.
Toni Kroos is an example to any youngsters watching the game, how he keeps the game nice and simple. Never really wastes a pass, Toni Kroos.
Sanchez has gone down holding his wrist, but again he's done what you were praising him for earlier.
Possession stats incredible, 69 to 31.
Yeah. Well, they had more possession in the first half, but didn't really do anything with it. The second half's been very different, but they're running out of time. Look at that. More than twice as many shots as Manchester United. Pereira with the free kick. And on is by Garner. It's his first touch of the match. Captain of England's current under-17 side. Have United done enough, or can Real take us into a penalty shootout?
I don't think United have done enough at all. I think first half, very, very good. 8 out of 10, second half, they've been quite poor. Some of the players fatiguing slightly. On the ball, have not kept hold of it. Real Madrid's youngsters have dominated only over the last 5 minutes. As Lopetegui brought some of these big guns on, Toni Kroos and ᴍᴜ. And they're the team pushing for the next goal.
Here is Kroos. Nacho. Support from Isco.
Only red shirts behind the ball.
Kroos again. Isco. Pushing and probing and trying to find the right ball into the box. It's not the right ball, it's headed away by Mitchell. But not very far. Nacho. Oscar. As it comes to Reguilón. It's a foul by Darmian. To invite more pressure on Manchester United, although they're 1.5 minutes plus stoppage time away from getting their first regulation time win in this competition. It would take them to 5 points. It's a big if at the moment. There's the ball in. And it was well defended under pressure there. Sanchez, I think, got a touch in the box and it was diverted behind for a corner. Now we know what Toni Kroos can do with set pieces. Here's his corner. Good header away though, near post. And here's Sanchez, who'll look to hold up the play.
Yeah, handball. He's guilty of a handball there, Alexis Sanchez.
Claiming it was his shoulder, chest, but referee thinks otherwise.
Yeah, it looked like a handball to me.
Isco. Ball in towards De Thomas. Shots on and clatters away off Herrera. Here's Isco. Tackled again by Herrera, but Real Madrid pick up the pieces. Here's Kroos. Now Asensio. Told there's going to be 3 minutes added on. Oscar. Nacho.
Oh,
it was always too high, and De Gea didn't really react. It nestled on the roof of the net in the end, but not quite the spectacular effort we saw against Portugal not so long ago.
He must have been super confident there, David De Gea, that was going high and wide, but it was ever so close.
It was.
Just dipping.
Good
right
angle
at the end,
of it here. I think he was fairly sure that it was too high. So we're into that 3 minutes of stoppage time now, with United clinging on to a slender lead.
I don't think United will show any ambition to try and get a third. They'll sit in, try and win it 2-1.
Sanchez has done a good job of holding things up, winning free kicks and chasing lost causes, just to keep them just about in front. Here's Isco.
If I have to pick a man of the match of either side, I'd probably go Marcos Llorente for Real Madrid, young 23-year-old, and I'd go for Ander Herrera for Man United. I think he's played really well.
Yeah, I agree. Free kick taken quickly by Kroos. Isco. Short beaded figure, finding Kroos again. Bit of space here. Useful looking cross, very good defending by Eric Bailly. He's well on top of the situation there with Borja Mayoral.
He's defended well. Eric Bailly put his body on the line once or twice.
Isco's corner though. Kroos. Isco again. Kroos again. This time it's kind, the deflection into the gloves of De Gea.
John, if we work together again, I'll tell you about one of my pet hates. Short corners. Can't stand them.
I sometimes find, they're a little overused. I thought they were overused in the World Cup. I know what you mean. I think sometimes it's nice to vary it a bit, but
I understand,
agree with you.
I understand why, to try and drag players out of position, but as for a professional footballer, it's a lot easier to whip balls in when the ball's dead rather than when you played a short corner to then try and find a different angle.
Final minute of stoppage time. Have Real got what it takes to get themselves level? Here's Isco finding Oscar. Oscar tackled fairly in the mind of the referee, and United might just be able to see this one out. Here's Alexis Sanchez. He wants a foul, and he's not going to get one.
He should have just played it down the line to young Mitchell. Use the youngster's legs.
Isco. Low drive, but nowhere near enough power in that to trouble David De Gea. He's just going to sit on the ball for a few more seconds and hope that the referee blows his whistle. De Thomas with the effort that lacked power. He's got himself in good positions, hasn't he, De Thomas?
Yeah, his movement's been excellent.
That is it. Manchester United have beaten Real Madrid in this battle of the giants in the International Champions Cup. All the goals coming in the first half. Alexis Sanchez and Ander Herrera with crisply finish efforts for them, and then Benzema pulling Real Madrid back into the game just before half-time. They absolutely dominated the second half, but they couldn't find an equaliser. It's finished Manchester United 2, Real Madrid 1.